Hey everyone, thank you for watching. I'm really excited to kick off a new series on my channel. This is going to be my mindset and makeup series. I'm excited to kick this off. I mentioned wanting to do a video like this in one of my recent Will I Buy It videos, and I got so many comments of people asking me to make a video kind of talking about makeup and money and budgeting, impulse buying, all of those topics. So as I was thinking about the video, I actually realized that I feel like I have a lot to say on this topic, and I thought it would be easier to break it down into its whole little series with the different videos kind of focused on each topic. So that is what we are doing today. I'm in a different location. I'm actually in our dining area right now. I just thought it'd be fun to switch it up for this series because it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to talk about some of these topics and what I'm going to throw out there. And I just thought maybe if I could produce these videos a little bit differently, even just be in a different setting, switch up the editing, something like that, it might make them a little bit more fun, because it can definitely be very daunting to have discussions about money. It's not always the funnest topic, and especially when you start talking about the D word, or debt, that can be a little bit challenging to talk about as well. So I thought it would just be something fun to kind of mix it up from my regular videos. So just a little bit on like my background, if you will. I have never really, I didn't grow up with money. We weren't considered a wealthy family by any means. I've gone through a lot of financial hardships from even a very young age, and money has just been one of those kind of like mysteries to me. Really, from truly a very young age. There's been a lot of times where I've held multiple jobs at once in order to help just provide basic needs like food for me and that sort of thing. So I definitely wanted to point that out because I think it's important kind of going through this video. But I've struggled a lot with debt. I've struggled with student loan, even being able to make vehicle payments, things like that, you know, even being able to afford gas in my car. I wasn't able to afford textbooks when I was a college student, and I would just borrow my friends' textbooks in order to try to get by with some of my classes. So money has been a struggle for me most of my life, really starting from about the age 16 and on, you know, most of my adult life. From about that age, it has been a bit of a struggle for me. And then one thing also about myself is that I am a very creative person. If you guys are new to my channel, hello. My name is Samantha March, and 10 years ago, I decided to start a blog in 2009. In October of 2009, I launched my blog, which is chicletplus.com. It is still around, and I've always been a very creative person. I've always loved reading. I've loved books. I've loved sharing about my stories. It's been a huge passion of mine since I was a little girl, and I've always tried to find ways to be able to share my stories, to reach other people that have the same passions as me. So I started a blog in 2009. I published my first novel in 2011. I am currently in the publishing process of my 8th novel. So I love the creativity process of creating stories and characters, and I love being able to share little parts of my journey in my books as well. I've also always wanted to be my own boss. I did go to a business college. My bachelor's degree has an emphasis in entrepreneurship because I've always wanted to be my own boss. I've always wanted to work for myself and just to be able to do things that I really love and that I'm really passionate about. I've had that fire in me pretty much for as long as I can remember. So when I started blogging, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I went on to write books, and then I was able to tell throughout the years that the focus of online and social media was really shifting from blogs to videos. And I launched my YouTube channel in April of 2015. I started primarily as a book channel. I did a lot of book hauls, book reviews. I talked about being a book blogger, a published author, you know, all of those different things. And then in May of 2016, I rebranded my channel. So about a year into it, I rebranded my channel into a beauty-focused channel, and that is what it has been since May of 2016. When I did the rebrand to the beauty channel, a reason why I wanted to do that was I felt like my my blog, which had started as me wanting to cover a whole bunch of different topics from books and beauty and fashion and fitness and celebrity. Like, I wanted to cover all of it. I just wanted to be a women's lifestyle blog. Over time, it had really turned into solely a book blog. So when I got on YouTube, when I was making book videos, and then I would sprinkle in beauty videos because I loved watching beauty videos, then I realized, you know, this could be the space where I get to bring in my passion for makeup and beauty, wanting to learn and all of that. So that was why I did the rebrand after a year. But when I did the rebrand, I was like, what am I going to talk about? Because, you know, at the time I didn't have a huge makeup collection. I had a very minimal collection. So a lot of my videos were tutorials using drugstore products, you know, drugstore hauls, lip swatch videos. You know, I even did like clothing hauls. I did hair videos, you know, back to school makeup tutorials. I tried to do a variety of different things because I wasn't getting new makeup. I wasn't able to buy new makeup. I wasn't obviously getting PR at the time that I was, you know, just starting out as a channel and all of that. So I tried to mix in a bunch of different topics on my channel. Then very quickly after I did the rebrand, I started to get comments of, why don't you ever show anything new on your channel? You're always showing the same things. You're always talking about the same makeup products. Can you review this new item? Can you show this new item? And I started to feel a lot of pressure. And I can remember going through YouTube and seeing which videos were popular and getting views and all of that. And it was on new makeup. It was, you know, just sharing about new products, watching new products, sharing looks with new products. And I was like, oh, okay, in order to, you know, have a successful YouTube channel and to be able to continue growing, people want to see the new stuff. And so I started buying makeup. And then I bought more makeup. And then I kept buying more makeup. Got to the point where I could no longer buy makeup with just a debit card or cash. I was having to use credit cards. And again, like I mentioned in the past, you know, I've kind of struggled with money throughout the years. But at one point I was working a very steady full-time job at a hospital, at a veterans hospital. Actually, it was a good job with good pay. I had worked really hard of saving my money and also doing the side hustle on the side with blogging, publishing books. I actually owned a publishing company. I worked freelance in a lot of different areas. So I was really doing a good job of paying off my debts and also creating a savings account for myself. And then I left my job at the hospital in 2014. So before I'd even started a YouTube channel, I quit my job at the hospital in order to be able to write full-time, to publish books full-time, to work on my publishing company full-time, and all of that. This time, especially in 2016, this is what I'm doing full-time, you know, just being creative full-time. I call myself a full-time dream chaser when people ask like what I do full-time, because I wear a variety of different hats. But in 2016, after I rebranded to a beauty channel and after I started getting those comments of why am I never showing anything new, I definitely felt a lot of pressure to it, and I blew through money so quickly buying makeup. Because like I said, when I quit my job at the hospital, I really didn't have a lot of debts at that time, besides my student loans, but I didn't have credit cards, I didn't have a vehicle payment, anything like that, and I had a decent savings account, and I was blowing through money purchasing new makeup, and again to the point where I wasn't able to use our debit card anymore or cash. I was using credit cards. And once I started going to credit cards, you know, I had already had to build how to really like dig myself out of credit card debt in the past, and I didn't want to do it again. So I thought, how are other people doing this? How are other YouTubers, you know, small YouTubers, small like me, smaller than me, a little bit bigger than me, how are they buying so much new makeup? Like, I was genuinely confused. So at this time I had joined a Facebook group for different creators. You could ask to be a part of this group, and people would help each other, and you'd be able to ask questions and people could give their advice and answers. And so I started to reach out to people in that group, and I was asking, how are you guys able to afford so much makeup? Like, is there a black market for beauty bloggers that I don't know about, that you guys are able to get this makeup? Like, what's going on here? And some people wrote back to say, you know, they also work full-time jobs, and so, you know, they're able to buy makeup that way. And, you know, some people said that they're just, you know, well off, or their parents help support them or partners help support them. But one thing that I thought was interesting was quite a few people telling me that what they did in order to be able to review the new makeup on their channel but not have to spend a lot of the money on it was they would buy makeup from Sephora and Ulta, show it on their channel, and then return it and get their money back. And I remember like it kind of clicking in my head at that point. I was like, okay, that's why so many people can do this, because you basically kind of play the system. In the United States, you know, with Sephora and Ulta in particular, you can return used makeup. It was really interesting to learn that that was how several people were being able to get those new reviews on their channel without putting themselves into debt, because they were getting their money back. So they were getting good views on their videos, but at the same time, they weren't having to actually spend the money. Like, they spent it right then, but then they were able to get it back. And I'll be honest with you that I very much considered doing that. I mean, I'm thinking, I want to be successful. I want to be able to talk about the new makeup. It's clear that my audience wants to see the new makeup, but I can't afford it and I don't want to go into credit card debt. Should I do that? And I am really happy to say that I never did it. There wasn't one makeup purchase that I made with the sole intention of putting it on my channel and returning it. Now, have I returned makeup that has not worked out for me? Yes, I have. And we can do that in the US. That's available to us, and I do that. But I have never purchased makeup with the sole intention of just putting it on my channel and then returning it to get my money back. And I'm very proud to say that, because people were encouraging me to do that. And I thought, that's a, you know, a part of me was like, that's a great idea, I get it. But it didn't sit right with me. It didn't feel right to me. And at this time, being a YouTube viewer, what I thought was really interesting about some of the channels I would watch was, what were the products that they actually decided that they wanted to purchase? Those hauls were interesting to me, because you were seeing what people wanted to spend their hard-earned money on themselves versus something like a PR haul or things like that. This is what people were actually deciding to spend their money on, and I put a lot of value into those hauls. So I didn't want to change who I was and who I liked seeing just to be able to get views. And I have seen some of those people who gave me that advice, I've seen their channels skyrocket. And you know what? That's great and everything, but it just didn't sit right with me, and I just didn't want to do it. So instead, I got those credit cards out and I kept buying new makeup. At the point in time, very quickly, that I realized, oh my gosh, I'm still buying more makeup. I'm not getting myself out of credit card debt. Guess what comes with credit card debt? Interest. And it's just kind of like you're constantly swimming. You can't get yourself out of it. And so after a few months, I was like, I need to do something different. And I thought to myself, okay, people want to see about the new makeup. I want to talk about the new makeup. I think some of these releases are exciting and fun, and I want to talk about them and just share what I think. And I want to share, would I buy that as a consumer, as a regular girl sitting in Iowa, just talking to a camera about makeup? Would I buy that new release? I decided to upload a video called Will I Buy It? My first Will I Buy It video was posted in August of 2016, and I talked about a few new makeup releases to the market, chatted about them, the price, what I thought of them, and then the question, would I buy it? I discussed that. And that video didn't go over the best. I was getting comments like, this is clickbait, you're not actually showing us the products, this isn't worthwhile, you're not even showing us swatches, you're not reviewing the product. And I was like, oh no, this could have been a bad idea. But it got a lot of views, and it also of course did get good comments of people saying, this is an interesting idea, I've never seen this video done on YouTube. And I was like, okay, maybe people like this idea. So a couple weeks later, I uploaded another Will I Buy It video. And again, it got a decent amount of views. And again, the comments were a little bit back and forth of like, this is clickbait, even though it says Will I Buy It, and you know, not review of this product. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying it. And for a while, every so often, I would upload this Will I Buy It, and I would talk about new makeup releases. Now, at one point I was able to get a YouTube manager. I hit 50,000 subscribers. I was able to apply to get a YouTube manager. I got someone that worked in YouTube that would give me, we would have like phone calls and emails. She would analyze my channel, and she actually suggested that I turn my Will I Buy It videos into a series. She says, make it a weekly or a monthly series. This is your top performing video on YouTube, and people keep coming back for it, and they're watching it longer than your other videos. Like, they're watching it all the way through. And so from there, I turned the Will I Buy It into a weekly series. I post that video every single Wednesday talking over new makeup releases, and if I'm gonna pick them up, pass over them, just kind of my thoughts on them. And it's been so fun to see that Will I Buy It series really take off, because for the longest time it didn't. The first one I posted was in August of 16, and it was winter of 17 that I actually shared on my Snapchat that I was thinking of stopping the series, because I just didn't know if people really liked it. Was it still fun? Was it, I didn't know. And I got so much feedback of people saying they wanted to continue to see the series, so I thought, okay, I'll keep it going. And then all of a sudden more creators started filming it, and more new release makeup videos started popping up, and they've actually gotten pretty popular on YouTube now, and I even created a community playlist. It's just fun, and it's a different way to get different people's thought processes on what makeup they're buying, why they're choosing to buy it, why they're not buying it, and just their thoughts on it. But in the midst of that, and you know, having fun with the Will I Buy It series and starting to get a little bit more comfortable on YouTube, I still felt it was starting to turn into feeling a pressure of being a beauty channel and having new releases on there. I still to this day get comments, especially on my Will I Buy It series, of you should purchase more makeup. This is your job. It's your job to purchase all of the new releases and share them with us. I still get those comments. On a recent Will I Buy It video, when I talked about should I make this mindset video, and I even mentioned I could talk about how much debt I went into buying new makeup and trying to have a successful YouTube channel, I had someone comment on that video and say, it seems like you don't buy a lot of makeup in these videos. Why do you even do them? Isn't it your job to be able to buy all of the new makeup to share? And a lot of times I can just skip over those comments and just say whatever, but I actually wrote back and was like, not sure if you heard the part of talking about how I went into debt trying to buy makeup for this channel. Like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and be smarter with my finances moving forward, but thanks for watching. Like, it's just those types of comments that just really get me going, of other people trying to tell me how I should spend my money. I don't ever want to tell people how to spend their money. Even when it comes to reviews, I try to be very careful on being like, you absolutely have to have this. Like, you need to run out and grab this. I try to be very careful in, even when I'm enthusiastic about something and I want to encourage people to buy it, I try to be careful with how I word it, because we do have to take responsibility for our own purchases. Like, I have to take responsibility for putting myself into debt buying makeup, but sometimes it doesn't help feeling certain pressures, especially being on the internet. It doesn't help, but you do have to take responsibility for it for sure. So I did want to say that. I'm not trying to place any blame or anything like that. I'm just trying to explain my mindset and what I was going through, and you know, some of the different pressures I was feeling. Because you know, one thing I see is people saying, you know, YouTubers are bad for you know, their viewers, and they're influencing them to buy too much makeup and all of that. And that definitely, I can see that for sure. But at the end of the day, we are the ones making purchases for us. You know, a beauty blogger or a content creator isn't the one hitting buy now. That is you doing it. So, you know, we do have to take responsibility for it. But in 2017 was such a difficult year for me. I was feeling so much stress of the amounting debt I was putting myself into, because I was still feeling this pressure of buying makeup. I was getting comments of, you don't do a lot of hauls. Haul videos are so much fun to see and all that. So I kept trying to do like these really big Sephora hauls, because you know, you'll see people post videos of like, this is my biggest Sephora haul, gigantic Sephora haul, a picture of someone with 18 Sephora boxes behind them, and they're getting views and people are excited to see them. And I'm like, here's my Sephora haul. I bought 3 things, and people are like, why did you even post this video? This wasn't an exciting haul at all. And I was just having such a hard time. It was hard on my marriage. It was hard on even my social life, because my friends would be like, do you want to go out? I'm like, well, I can't, because I don't have any money to even go out and have dinner with you, because I spent it all on makeup to post a video. Like, it was affecting a lot of areas in my life, and I was starting to fall into a pretty big depression, because at one point when I finally was able to look back and see how much debt I had amassed from buying makeup, and then not only buying makeup but also feeling the pressure of having a good camera, of having good lights. It is very expensive to run a YouTube channel, and so that came into play too. And I'm just thinking, why do I keep doing this? You know, at this point, I'm not making paychecks on YouTube. I started to get my first paychecks from YouTube in 2017. My first paycheck was $100 and like 10 cents or 20 cents or something like that. You need $100 in order to cash out on YouTube. So, you know, I definitely wasn't in it for the money. I wasn't making money. I'd been on YouTube for 2 years. I was just now getting a paycheck, and I had spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on makeup, on equipment, lights, editing software, and all of that. I mean, that's just kind of like the ugly truth that I think maybe a lot of creators can maybe relate to, and maybe something that some viewers might not know the behind the scenes of, because we see a lot of YouTubers have fame and have these over-the-top lifestyles, but those are a very select few of people who do this. A lot of people are doing this for a very long time, not making any money and truly only spending money. 2017 was a pretty challenging year. Towards the end of the year, I started to see my paychecks be higher from YouTube, and in December 2017, that was one of my highest paychecks from YouTube. And at that time I thought, wow, like maybe something is going to come from this. My views were up, subscribers were up, I was posting more videos, I was posting every single day on YouTube. At the end of the year of 2017, I kind of got remotivated again. I was like, yes, I can do this, this is going to be great. In January 2018, my husband lost his job. And and obviously, if you have gone through that, it is such a hard time. It is such a challenging thing. And when he lost his job, I remember, because truly he carried us. I mean, I was pretty much at this point just working just for fun. I wasn't really providing anything income-wise to the family. So when we lost his income, it was an especially difficult time. But also to look at all of our finances really deeply and understand just how much I was not contributing to our family. In the year of 2017, when we did our taxes and everything was said and done, I myself had only made $9,000 for the entire year. And to see that number, and to see my husband's face when he found out that number, and then to also have lost a steady income, was a horrifying feeling. That was really a moment for me. That was like a rock bottom moment. You know, that was kind of some of my like biggest fears being recognized is, you know, what if something happens to the steady income we have pulling in? What are we gonna do for house payments, for phone payments, for, you know, being able to have a life, our dog's food? What are we gonna do? And then exactly that happened to us. And it was such a hard and scary time. And I can remember the first Will I Buy It video that I went to film after everything happened, and kind of breaking down in that video and saying, you know, guys, my husband just lost his job, like we're going through something really scary right now. I'm obviously not going to be buying makeup. And I wanted to say that and put it out there for people who would comment on those videos asking me why I wasn't buying more. We, at that point, like literally had pretty much zero income coming in. Do you know how silly I felt talking about if I'm going to buy new makeup? I was wondering how to pay our bills and how we were gonna get groceries. That's what I was wondering. I wasn't thinking about makeup. One thing that I realized after my husband has lost his job and I'm going through everything, I'm trying to figure out what to do. You know that they say that you should always have a savings account with, you know, a certain percentage of money for emergencies in case something should happen, like someone losing their job and you're losing an income. And when I had left my job at the hospital, I was in a better place with my mindset and everything that was going on, and I was very responsible, and I had saved up, you know, a very decent savings account in case, you know, I was leaving my job and I found that I wasn't able to support myself through books and publishing at the time. So I had a savings account, and to realize that I had gone through a savings account that I worked so hard on that was supposed to be for an emergency situation that we had found ourselves in, but I had gone through it and spent money on makeup. That was a big wake-up call for me also. That was a really hard thing to realize because we had so much stress at the time, and I thought we would have, you know, a lot of our stress alleviated if we had that fallback of our savings account, but we didn't because I spent it, because I was, you know, irresponsible. So that was a really tough thing. It's kind of interesting to think back and reflect on those times, because even when I went through my savings account, because I spent so much money on makeup, I was like, it's okay, I'll go through it. Then when I had to open a second credit card because of how much money I was spending on makeup, I was like, it's okay, you still got that. But having that all happen at one time, with Mitch losing his job, with realizing exactly how much I had made in a calendar year, that was my wake-up call. That was when I was like, you need to change your habits, and you need to change them quickly, because this can't keep happening. I very quickly changed up my buying habits, but I also just changed up kind of my mindset in general of how I looked at makeup. And these are some topics that I'll get into in further videos, but even like, I used to not want to use up makeup and skincare. Like when I would get to only a few uses left in skincare, I would just hold on to it and wait for it. And even my mindset on that has changed. I like using things up now. I do the Project Pan videos and the Shop My Stash videos, and I try to go through my collection. I do also a lot of declutters, which I know can kind of be a polarizing thing in the beauty community also, but because I do get PR now, I do get a lot of makeup. I don't even want to keep all of the makeup. I don't want to have a huge collection. I want to have the makeup that makes me really happy. So I've been doing more declutters, and I've just been more aware of when I'm doing hauls. Am I able to, you know, am I shopping during a sale? Can I get, you know, some cash back on eBates? Do I have gift cards? And I'm gonna talk about kind of the different ways that I now look at shopping versus just impulse shopping in the past, and buying just to buy, and buying just to be able to have on, you know, a review on my channel. I'm gonna talk about how that has changed and what I look for now, and really walk you through how I make a makeup haul, because a lot of my mindset has changed there. And I'm glad. I hope these videos will maybe help some of you, because I didn't quite realize just how many other content creators went through something like this, but also just hearing a lot of viewers say that you've really struggled too with buying so much makeup, impulse buying, and all of that. So I hope some of these videos will help you. It's really quite hard to make this video and to put some of these things out there, because they're very personal. It makes you very vulnerable on the internet, which can be a very scary thing. But one of my biggest things is that I love storytelling. I love being able to share my experiences and maybe help people, or help people maybe not feel as alone. It's why I've touched on some of the topics I have in the past. And, you know, maybe I had to go through that time and that experience so I could share my stories, and maybe I can help someone out there, because at the end of the day, that is what I would love to be able to do. So even though I'm kind of horrified at some of the information that I'm about to put on in the internet and the judgment that can come from it and all of that, I'm still just gonna try to remember that I know that there's other people who have had this happen to them, and maybe some of my videos can help you out. I hope that people don't have to hit that kind of rock bottom stage that I have hit not once but multiple times in my life in order to make a change. But that is what truly helped me, was having a few of those factors kind of all come together at one time and realizing to myself, you need to make a change now, girlfriend. This can't keep continuing. One thing too, you know, with Mitch losing his job, we had so many people, friends, you know, the community on the internet saying to me, you know, it means something better is coming, it means something's better, you know, is coming. And I'm someone who, I try to believe that too. You know, I tell people that also, but when you're in it and you're going through it, it's really hard to think like, okay, what's the next thing, what's coming, what's the point of this? But I just wonder, if that hadn't happened, would I have been able to really snap myself out of my makeup addiction of buying so much makeup? I don't know if that would have happened for me, because there was even times, like I mentioned, you know, okay, so I need to turn to credit cards to buy makeup. Should I really do that? Let me reach out to other people. Keep buying makeup. Now I'm gonna have to open a second credit card. Let me try a different series on my channel. Like, I would realize it throughout the time, but there was never anything that made it like snap for me and click for me, like, you have to stop, this is not okay. And you know, I'm happy to say, obviously we're in October 2019, my husband is actually working a job that he loves versus a corporate job that he did not enjoy, and that's a good thing. And it also really changed the way that I look at a lot of different things. It definitely changed up my mindset also. You know, working on getting out of the debt, building up a savings account once again. So I have a lot to be grateful for and thankful for when it comes to that. So that's something that I try to hold on and remember, that even though those several months were super challenging, were so hard, especially to have to also be on the internet at the same time. That's a very hard thing. Like with celebrities, I don't know how they go through things so publicly, because even that part was really challenging for me. But I can see bigger picture in the end, that something better truly did come from it. I'm really excited for this series. I wanted to give you this first video as a background, as of, you know, why I even started a YouTube channel, why I started in, you know, a social media platform, to why I got myself into so much debt, and maybe some of the mindset and the pressures that I were letting get to me. You know, I wasn't strong enough at those times to kind of ignore some of the pressures and the comments and all of that, and I kind of let myself get sucked into like, well, I want to have a successful channel, I want people to enjoy my videos, I'm a people pleaser, I want everyone to like me. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, and I let that characteristic cause a huge turmoil in my life. So I've had to learn how to be stronger, how to get a bit of a thicker skin, how to not let those bother me. But also at the end of the day, I'm a lot happier. I hope these videos will help you. If there's any certain topics that you want to see from this series, just let me know. But you know, I'll be talking definitely more about mindset, about budgeting, about just the buying process in general. I have quite a few videos coming up. I hope that you guys will enjoy this series, and that's it for today's video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please remember to be kind. If you guys did enjoy this video and you're excited for the new series, I hope that you'll give this one a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.